If you need to add one or more agencies, keep in mind that if you need to add more than 5, Link to Feed support can upload them for you. So there's a section in the user manual that will say how to add an organization. It will have a copy of the upload form for you to download, complete, and then submit as a support ticket to our support team in order to manage. In order to add less than that, you can add the agency information yourself, and then you can contact Link to Feed support to let them know what programs need to be added to it. To add a new agency, click on New Agency, type in the name, short name will be a abbreviation of it. Note that any field that's required will have a blue star beside it. If it doesn't have a blue star, it is not mandatory. You'll also need to fill out the time zones. The address will work just like the address generator. So as I start to type in the address, the options will show up. It will complete the entire address. And there's a section for contact information. This is the primary contact and is not related to adding a user in general. So if you have the contact information there, you're not going to be adding a new user. And there's a section for any notes about the agency. So you would click on Save. By doing so, you're taken to the organization's profile summary, and then you can customize it. At this point, you'll need Link to Feed to add the application of client intake and to add the program to this agency before specifying any intake-specific permissions. I'll go to an existing profile to show those agency-specific permissions. So you would go to Profile and then Intake Organization Profile. Click on Edit Organization. Is this school pantry? This is a question for any US sites only. It's defaulted to no. Should it include any household member in school pantry tab? Basically means should all individuals be asked about their schooling or only children? Consent required, yes or no. So there's a yes or no option that will be put on the personal page as to yes or no has either verbal or written consent been given. There's a new option, consent signature required, which will allow you to put a signature disclaimer, a consent disclaimer in this text field that will show up on the personal tab, where you'll have the option to select any allowed signature styles. So type, sign on screen, hard copy, and the external signature pad as well. Use Google Maps is pretty straightforward. The Google Maps box appears on the client's profile on the personal page. There are some organizations that do not want that visible, so that is checked off by default but can be removed. Use Google Autocomplete. This is automatically available if you're in a location that usually doesn't provide the right addresses, or find that you're in a very rural location where it's not bringing it up at all, then you'd be able to turn this off. Two-factor auth code. This option is available where if you type anything in that text field, a user who logs in outside of the organization will be forced to put in that text. So it's like a password. It prevents users from logging in outside of the organization. Hours of operation. So if this is only applicable and would show or apply to the system right now if using the caseload feature. So if using the caseload feature, you'll need to select your hours of operation. Otherwise, the system will not know how to coordinate and organize your organization caseload. Closures is linked to that as well. You would just click on any of the calendar dates where you do not want appointments scheduled for the caseload feature, and it will block that date even if your hours of operation usually are on that day. Attendance permitted. This provides the organization access to use the attendance feature. Users do have to be checked off of the attendance feature as well to use this. Anonymous clients permitted. This allows users to access the anonymous feature. Again, a user permission has to be checked off before the user has access to record an anonymous visit. Use client search, pretty straightforward to display the client search box. This is useful for anyone who has satellite locations for appointments. Usually the user just needs access to the client profiles that have been assigned to their location and shouldn't need the ability to search for any other clients. Use client search history is linked to client search, so it's the area on the dashboard where the most recently accessed clients list lives. Track grade documentation. This is used for sites that have the school pantry tab enabled. It's an option where you can track grade documentation for anyone who is attending school. There are also household summary options. So these are the options that are available to check off to see that type of information on the services page when recording a visit for the client. And then you would save your changes at the bottom. If you need to edit any organization, you go to Administration, Organizations, click on the edit icon beside the organization you want to edit. You can make any changes here by clicking on Edit Organization, or if they're intake-specific ones, under Intake Organization Profile, and then save your changes. If you want to completely deactivate an organization, you can click on the Deactivate button here. An organization cannot be completely removed from the system. If the organization is not active, just the users from that organization will not be able to access the system.